Ron knows stuff here. Mrs. Ron knows stuff there. And Coco's right here. So, people
There she
have, people have asked about Kias. Kias, are they junk? Are they good? What's the deal? I'm going to tell you firsthand experience. So I'm on my second Kia product. I had a 2012 Kia Soul with the 2-liter engine in it. Ran like a top. What was great about it is you could do 100 miles an hour in it and you wouldn't get pulled over because nobody would believe a Kia Soul could go 100 miles an hour. But it did, and I did, and I loved that car. It's still with a family member. I think the AC just went out a little bit ago, and it's still running great, though. It has
but how old is that then?
It's a 2012, and it has 180,000 plus miles on it.
Okay, so over 12 years old.
Older, 12 years old.
The great thing about that car is it didn't look like much, but you could fit everything in it when we were going places, and I love to overpack.
Mrs. Ron knows stuff, thought it was the ugliest thing in the world until she got in it, and it rode great, and again, it was trouble-free. I think I had to put maybe 3 coil packs on it, but no issues.
The only drawback was it did have a smaller gas tank.
Yes.
Because you did have to fill up more often, remember?
Well, I was doing 100 and plus miles an hour too, so that kind of sucks up the go-go juice.
That is not true. Yeah. Please do not believe that. Don't turn him in. He doesn't go 102.
For the record, I was doing the speed limit. So anyway, that moves on to the next purchase. One of our kids needed the car, so I gave him that one and decided to buy myself a new-to-me car. Now, this was in December of 2019, before all the madness happened.
Correct.
We paid $14,500 out the door for this Kia Sportage LX, which at the time, new, was retailing for $24,950.
And what year was it?
It was a 2017 that we got in 2019.
That's right.
So by
one owner,
14,800 miles on it, and the fact that we let somebody else drive it for the first 2 years saved us $10,000 plus tax.
We let somebody else drive it. Okay, it was somebody else's car.
Yeah. So what happened is they traded it into the Kia dealership. I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but you're going through the service lane, you get your oil change, and they walk up to you and say, you know, for the same payment, we can put you in a brand new vehicle. A lot of people do that. I don't know if they still offer that anymore, but that's what they were doing back then. And we live right next to a retirement village, would you say?
Retirement Our whole area is retirement.
Yeah. So,
except for us, we're working.
Yeah, we're still working. But those people, they tend to trade in and they don't really care. So we got a really good deal. Like I said, we saved $10,000 because it had 14,800 miles on it. It was 2 years old. So it's the 2.4 front wheel drive. I don't care for 4-wheel drive. It's more maintenance. Where I travel, I don't need 4-wheel drive. I was told long ago, if you can't get there in 2-wheel drive, you have no business going there. So we have 98,000 miles on this Kia Sportage now. We've driven it from Florida to Branson, Missouri, Kentucky. We drove it to New York a time or two. We've driven it to Massanutten,
Virginia.
We've driven it to the Carolinas. Hey, Brandon. We've driven it to all over Georgia because we have a home in Georgia as well as Florida. We've driven it down to the Keys.
So it's been a great car, and it is a great car.
You know, I can't complain about the Kia. Now, again, I don't speak to the...
Well, let me tell you about a Kia I owned. It was back in about 2003. It was one of those new minivans back then.
Kia Sedona.
Yes.
Okay.
But this was, again, long time ago.
Sure.
It only lasted 2 or 3 years, and when it died, it died.
Do you know how many miles you had on it?
I bought it brand new.
Okay, that was going to be my
I think it was hitting probably 100, maybe 120.
Okay.
But maybe I had it 4 years, but drove it. Kids and I took it to the beach all the time,
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah.
when it died, it died. So since then, I believe Kias have changed the way they make their products.
You know, and some people will say they're good. Some people will say they're bad. I'm just going to tell you that they don't bother me. Because again, I've had this one. Um, it's been maybe a little more troublesome than the Sportage or than the Soul because I've had literally nothing to do with the Soul other than coil packs. And I do regular maintenance. I change the oil with full synthetic every 5,000 miles without fail. And, you know, I'll flush the fluids if needed. I'm guilty, though. I haven't done the transmission fluid, but I've put new belts on it. So,
well, you did make that video where we had to change out the.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The problems I've had with this vehicle have never left me stranded, but I kind of see YouTubes on them because they're common problems. The window regulators, that's the little gear that puts the windows up and down.
That makes it automatic windows?
Yeah. So the driver's side and the passenger side both have failed. Now,
within 2 weeks of each other.
Yeah. So we are up in Georgia, and I think it was like 20 degrees.
Something ridiculous.
It was going to rain or something like that. And we pulled up to our gate to open up the property to get to the house. And Mrs. Ron Knows Stuff put the window down to catch some of the fresh Georgia mountain air, and it would not go back up. Fortunately, we have a garage, and we were able to park it in there overnight, so no issues. I ordered a $10.
He was able to manually get it back to the closed position so we could get home.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. So I had to take the door panel off and raise up the door and lock it in place. And you know, that sufficed until I got the part because I'm a do-it-yourself kind of guy. I do have a video of me fixing the window regulators and which method I recommend. So we had that. The rear door, the hatch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the rubber surround that protects the electronic hatch release, that rotted out. Got that on Amazon relatively cheap, $30, I think. Did it myself, got a video on it, piece of cake. Well worth doing yourself. The molding around the driver's door, I don't know if it's because of my height or lack thereof, but I kept hitting the molding at the bottom. So that piece of soundproofing, rubber gasket, that kind of rotted out. I did order it from the dealership. Should have gotten it on Amazon or another place because I paid quite a bit of it, but man, was that easy to change. I thought I was going to have all kinds of frustrations. Just snaps right in.
And again, nothing left you stranded on the side of the road or anything like that.
On occasion, this one does use oil, and it's sporadic. Sometimes you're driving like 3,500 miles and it's not used any oil. And then all of a sudden it'll use half a quart.
So you check it regularly?
I do check it regularly just because that's what I do. I've changed out the PVC valve because sometimes that can cause it gets stuck and it sucks oil. That's not it. If you got an idea of what I should try next, go ahead and leave it in the comments. The other thing that I did is just recently is the rear speed sensing hub that it's on the left driver side back. These sensors tell the ABS if a wheel's spinning or not. So right now my traction control, my ABS, and my hill descent lights are all on because that sensor's bad. I've got one on order. Should be here tomorrow, maybe the day after. So be watching for that video. And like I say, nothing's left me stranded. The car is very comfortable. We drive it, 7-8 hours trips in it. What's the longest time we did? Because I know when we went to Branson from here, we were in there like 10, 11 hours. Yeah. So, and it's comfortable. Yeah, it does have heated seats. I think our next one will have air conditioned seats as well.
We are in Florida and it's already getting warm.
Yeah, it's over 100 degrees outside right now
with the heat index.
With the heat index, and the
June.
house, we have foam insulation, and it's still trying to keep up with it.
But it's doing a great job.
Yes. So anyway, would I buy another Kia? Let me ask the boss. Would I buy another Kia?
You probably would.
Would you buy another Kia?
Sure.
Okay, so yes.
No issues.
I would buy another Kia.
But would you? What's your experience with the...
Leave your thoughts on what kind of vehicle you have right now. How's it been for you? Would you recommend it to somebody? I would recommend a Kia. I don't care for turbos. I don't care for the start-stop functions that they have now. So if I can program it off, great. But I do recommend find what's comfortable to you and then do your research. See what everybody says about those vehicles. This is Ron Knows Stuff. That's Mrs. Ron Knows Stuff. This is Coco Knows Stuff. And now you know stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.